Hello everyone, welcome to the VSQUAD School stream. VSQUAD School is a platform where you can choose a course and go a full production pipeline based on real project. Also, now we stream from Discord, that's our Discord server. You can join to our server via link in the description. Here you can share your artwork and also connect with other artists. So I'll link in the description. Now let's move to today's topic. Our guest is Igor Doroshchuk, and he is a 3D art director and technical artist. He will share with us his approach to creating materials like AAA projects. So, hi Igor, can you tell us a
Hey
bit
guys.
about yourself and
Uh, yeah. So, hey guys. My name is Igor Doroshchuk. So I'm 3D art director at Devoted Studios. At the same time, I'm also taking the position of the technical artist, and I'm working in game dev industry more than 13 year, I believe. I started from October 2013, but my career began a bit earlier. So when I was 15, I went to IT STEP Academy. It was in Ukraine, in Luhansk, and from there I start learning Photoshop, Illustrator, Flash, a lot of stuff connected with the 3D, like 2ds Max, Maya, etc. So even some post processing stuff like Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects. And after that, after 2.5 years of my study, I I make a break for, I believe, around 2 or 3 years. And after that, my career at game dev started, and I started as regular 3D artist. Basically, I worked with environment stuff, with the environment props and any other environment assets that we need to create. And basically, yeah. So that's how I started. After 8 years in my first company, I switched to Devoted Studios, and here I'm working almost 5 years. That's it.
okay, so I think you can start your presentation about materials. I will show the screen.
Okay. So today's topic is how to master materials in Substance Painter. How you can create two different materials, how you can blend it, and how you can achieve the good result for your asset. So we will speak about a couple of this stuff. I will tell you the short description of this stream, what we will do and how it will go. And I believe after that, we will have a quick Q&A session, and you can ask me some questions if you will have them. So we will start with basics scene setup, because there are a couple of the major things that we need to set before we will start our work. And after that, we will speak about creation metal material. After that, we will speak about paint material, and afterwards, how to blend it, how to achieve a good result. And of course, will be final touch, so um, how we can finalize and create really good asset for our game. So let's start with the basics. First of all, I just want to show you really quick the asset itself. So this is old canister or just a jerry can, if you want to name it like that. And we have here good details, good roughness. We have also some rust leakage metal stuff here that's appearing, and that's what we will do for today. But let's start with one thing. So I will run additional instance of Substance Painter, and I just want to say a couple of the words about the basic setup, because we definitely need to cover this stuff first. So let me just create new project. I will set 2K resolution for us. I'm choosing the standard PBR metallic roughness pipeline, so I don't need to worry about that. It's completely okay for me. I will select my FBX. And of course, if you have some maps already baked, you can also add it here. One important thing that was hidden here, and probably not all of the artists paying attention, is color management. So right now I'm working with color management driven by OpenColor.io. And here I can manually select the ACES 1.2. So basically you can select it here. And what that means? That means that all the assets that you will create, and for instance, you work in Maya, it may be Blender, 3ds Max, whatever. Let's take Maya, Unreal Engine, and Substance Painter. And you definitely want to keep all the settings solid. And if you want to review your asset in Painter or Maya or Unreal, you should synchronize the color management, color profile that you are working on. If you want to go deep to this topic, I would recommend you to go to the official YouTube channel of Substance Painter, and there you will find the video that highly described how you can synchronize all the things. Because for us, it was important because when we worked, I don't know, 4 years ago or even 5 years ago, there are no such settings as ACES. And we get used to set it by a different setup. But right now, to don't go deep down to these settings and what they mean, what you should set, you can set 1.2, and that would be enough for us and for you to work with. And after that, I also will show you a bit different way how you can set up it. We can say it like old school way. So let's hit OK. And I believe my textures should be assigned. Oh, for some reason they shouldn't. Okay, it's not really a problem. I believe that's because of the not proper naming of the maps itself. So basically we are here, and as you can see here at the top right corner, we have ACES RGB. And if you want, you can switch it to other stuff, but basically ACES RGB, that's what we need to set here. What next? Next, I usually do setup for the environment map, and my favorite one is Tomoko Studio. or Studio Tomoko. I'm trying to use that studio simply because this HDRI, it doesn't give you any bluish or yellowish or reddish tint on your props. Since we get the lighting from the HDRI here, it's quite important for us to work with kind of clean HDRI. So try to use in your work HDRIs that using almost flat, like white light, because otherwise you will have some tints and it can break your feelings about the textures, and it can give you unwanted temperature, let's call it like that, for your asset. And you will work, for instance, with warm tint, but eventually when you will switch HDRI, you will see that the color representation of it not really the same that you want. So basically, that's really important stuff here. The next thing that I'm doing usually is just increasing blur to 100%, and I'm increasing the environment opacity to the 15, but sometimes it might be 20 or it might be 10. It really depends on your monitor, how contrast is, and maybe you are working with the HDR colors. So it's really depends. So I believe 10 or even 8, I'm sorry, 8 for me would be enough to just separate the props from the background. And what else? Basically, I'm also double checking the anti-aliasing, because without it, it's not really good. But 16 for the start would be really, really great. And here I have the Pure file. I will bring it here. That's what I talked previously. This is ACES LUT. We can go here, and you can find it on ArtStation. It's completely free, but now it's almost useless because we already have that set up. But the thing is that when you are working with the Unreal and when you are using the ACES LUT file, you are 100% sure that assets that you are mainly developing for the games, for the engine, they will use they will remain the same. I mean, the colors, the roughness, and all that stuff. But basically, it's more related to the base colors. So that was one of our base setup here. And let me really quick switch to this file, and I will show you the setup here. So as you can see, here I'm using the tone mapper, so the settings is quite easy. It's log. Vignette you can just turn off. It's not really necessary. And you need to use these one of these color profile when you are working, and set function to linear. So basically, where it was? No, not this one. I'm sorry. So that's the settings here, and that was the old school way how we worked previously before Substance Painter was updated for that. And a couple of the topics that I also want to cover here is triangulation of the asset and normal baking, because that's really important stuff, and most of the artists skipping that and not paying attention when they are do their 3D models, and especially when they are baking, normal maps. So one of the golden rule when you are doing baking, almost every time you should use triangulated model, because every application such as 3ds Max, Blender, Maya, Unity, Unreal, whatever, they are using their own algorithm of triangulation. And if you will triangulate your model, bake normals, you will be 100% protected from this weird bug that we can see here. It's called mismatched triangulation. That bug will reveal when you will leave your model with the quads, bake it. It doesn't matter where. It can be Marmoset, or it can be Substance Painter, or maybe you are really crazy person and you are baking in Maya. I don't know. Eventually, when you will put your model to the engine, you can see this mistriangulation, and basically that's really annoying stuff when you are working with the normal maps. So just remember one golden rule, that when you are baking, you always need to triangulate your mesh and put this triangulated mesh to the engine, to the Substance Painter, and use the normal map that you baked with triangulation. That's the golden rule. And of course, bit depths of the normal map. So when you are baking the normal map, you should always keep in mind that this normal map will use only when you will texture your asset in Substance Painter. Or maybe again, you can use Marmoset, you can use Quixel Mixture, you can use, for instance, 3D Code, whatever. So basically, what the difference between them? If you will bake the 8-bit normal map, you will see this color separation, and definitely that would be really bad for us. Another example of this is just really bad baking of the normal map with 8-bit. So when you're baking, you also have the option, at least in Marmoset, Deezer, and you can achieve these results. So it will just create some noise on the compensator, and you will receive this result eventually. But if you will set 16-bit, you will achieve the good, clean result. One important note here, probably most of you know that our engines like Unity, Unreal, they don't support 16-bit normal map. So why I should use it and why I should bake it? Again, it's only relevant for the texturing, because when you're texturing, you wanna achieve the full quality of the normal map baking. You don't wanna them to be kind of break by this noise. So when you're achieving and when you're when you're texturing, you want to achieve the full quality. After that, when you will export normal map and all the outputs map from the Substance Painter, anyway, you will receive a normal map 8-bit with dithering, but that will be your final result. And that's my advice when you are doing that. Every time when you are baking, bake 16-bit. It will give you full quality of normal map. And afterwards, when you will done all your work with the model in Substance Painter, engine will receive a good normal map even with dithering, but it will be clean and with higher quality possible. Of course, inside the engine, on top of it, we will apply compression, and anyway, we will lose some quality of normal. But That's really important moment, and a couple of other examples how it may look with no dithering. With 60-bit, definitely we'll see the differences on the highlights here, and this is how it looks with the dithering and with the final material. Basically, that's relevant for the hard surfacing, for the metal shiny surface, because if you're working with the wood, with the stone, of course they don't need the full quality, but anyway, that's kind of golden rule that when you are baking 16-bit, that will be your best friend, and it will save you a lot of time and a lot of neurons in your brain. Okay. So what else I wanna say here? Probably I will close the instance, close this instance. We don't need it anymore. And let's get back here. And the next stuff that I want to cover is the hierarchy of maps and hierarchy of mesh itself. So when I'm working with the asset, I'm always keeping in the head the next structure. Mesh supporting normal maps supporting base color, and base color supporting roughness. So that's the structure that I always keep in my head, because mesh itself, it's for us, give me a second, just select. So that's the low poly mesh. Yeah, so we can show some stuff like this damage. Yeah, so of course we can support it with the polygons. We can support some big shapes like that, like this, and basically keep the silhouette. But of course, even right now, even with the nanite, with a million polygons that we can use in Unreal Engine 5, we still using normal map, because normal map can give you an additional details that you can bring in, such as these, like as you can see here, these let's name it baked dust particles or something like that, just in case I'm using 2K, because if I will turn 4K resolution, I believe my video card probably will die, especially with the streaming. Okay, so when you keep this structure, oh please don't die. Okay, when you keep this structure, we can go with again mesh, normal map, base color, roughness, and that means that we have the an hierarchy. The mesh is lowest hierarchy, normal map next one, base color going after that, and roughness. And it can go in the opposite direction: roughness, base color, normal map, and mesh. So example on this asset. For instance, I wanna play with this dust. How I can achieve it? I can achieve it by using normal map. In our case, it might be height map also, because we receiving normals in Substance Painter by painting height. So on the mesh, I can support it, and mesh can go to the lowest priority for now, and we are using the normal map or height map to support it. So it kind of our first layer that we need to consider. Then it would be really awesome, but it really depends on what you want to do, is support these guys with the base color. So you might add here some color differences. For instance, here we have one color. For these guys, we can add a bit lighter color, lighter reddish tint, and that's how we can support them. So we can highlight them. Hey, here we have this type of damage and we really want to show you. But again, it really depends on what you want to do, because in some cases you don't want to do it and you will be happy only with the normal map. But again, we are supporting normal map by base color, and eventually we can decide, will we support these guys with the roughness or no, because it can also bring you nice details how we can show some damage or some baked dust particles. So that's what I'm always keeping in my head, and that's what I'm telling my students. Always keep this structure: mesh, normals, base color, roughness, and that will help you support each layer of details by using this structure. What else? What else? A bit organizing stuff about what we have here. Definitely to achieve that result, I need to use, I don't know, 100 of layers or around 100 layers, and definitely we want to keep them structured and organized. One of the first layers that I'm always creating is, of course, PBR validator. Let's just wait a bit. I believe stream will not fall. So PBR validator, I believe you all already know what is it. So it can highlight us which areas we need to readjust or reconsider with our colors, with our metallic values, etc., etc. Then, okay, I believe it will finish. Yeah, so here we have some issues with these areas, because here probably I'm using too metallic and too roughness and too dark values here. But anyway, I believe this is okay for me. So I'm not really considering this as a problem, because it really depends on the project where you are working, because on some of them you can meet the art director that will say, hey, it's not allowed, you need to go to the values when it will be completely green, and we all will be happy. And if I will find any red values, I will kill you. So that's the reality on some of the projects. But some of the art directors, they can say, hey, okay, that's not really a major issue. Nobody really notice it. It won't affect lighting or break the physics correctness, whatever. So in some cases, that's completely fine, and it might be an exaggerated artistic choice to leave it as is. So if you are art director happy with that, so you can leave it. But of course, if we are kind of following some rules, of course, all of the paint, metal values, they should be in green color here. So that's just for me for checkup. So if the rest looks good, am I in the range? And that's it. Next layer, I'm using sharpen. It's a pass-through layer, so I'm not affecting any layers here. So that means that it will kind of clump all the layers that we are having here base color, metallic, roughness, metal, and normal. And we will sharpen it a bit. But again, here with the filter sharpen, I can set where I wanna sharpen my details. And of course, when we are using, let me see. When we are using, I'm not really sure if you guys can notice it through the streams, through the quality, but with the sharpening some details, it can be really useful for us to just boost up them and make them more noticeable, not really blurry. And considering the compression for the texture in Unreal 5 or Unity, whatever, we can just save the quality and save the details by simply sharpening them. I'm not really using high values here. I'm using around 0.25 and really rarely I'm going up like 0.4, 0.5, but again, it depend on the asset, depend on the details that you are bringing here and how you wanna kind of highlight it. And one of the old school trick is curvature. So you can use the curvature map that you already baked and you can place it on top of the color with the overlay with the 25%, and it can bring you a bit more volume, a bit more depth for your asset. So basically, that's the old trick. In PBR, we shouldn't do it because it's kind of forbidden or not recommended for us. But again, like final touch with the overlay 25, that's completely really working for us. And of course, the last thing that I want to cover here is color coding. Of course, it would be easier for you and it would be easier for the people probably that might review or rework a bit your file in the future, leave some color coding, and it will help them, because I know that Rust marked as orange and another Rust layer that I'm having here also marked as orange layer, and some dirt layers I marked as violet. There is no color coding requirements, but it's just helping you and helping other artists that probably will review your Painter file or probably will work in the future. Anyway, this is the golden rule where you need to keep all the files, all the layers named properly. So please, I'm begging you, don't use layer 1, or I don't know, for instance, when we are working with Asian vendors, and they sometimes love to how to say, love to left some their language there, and it's completely mess, because when you're opening the file in and it's totally in Korean or Chinese or any of these languages, and you can understand where the layer that's responsible for the metal or for what, that kind of really bringing you a lot of headaches. So I'm begging you to use clean, understandable explanation what you are doing here. So if it's roughness correction, or it's dark dots, or it's little metal bumps, please keep all that structured and organized, and don't think that if you are doing your job, for instance, you are doing this asset and you are put it on, for instance, any art source client repository, in the future no one will touch it. you are not really sure that I don't know, for after the 2 months they will decide to, I don't know, change the color from the red to the green, or achieve a couple of the additional textures with the red, green, blue, etc. This is just an example. So please don't forget that you are not alone in the team, and someone can take your work and do some stuff with it. So it's completely fine. Okay, let's go to the funny part. Let's just turn off all of these layers, and let's start with the metallic layer. I will delete these guys because I marked them as can delete. I don't really need them because it was smart material for me, but I will explain it after why and how you can do it here. So simple aluminum metallic material. What we can do from where we wanna start, and of course, let me bring another guy here. Is of course references. So I will say it every time when I'm working with the students. So gather as much references as you can, because even here, even for me, it's not really enough. We can search for more references. There are a couple of the rules that I'm trying to teach my students, that you are always need to use references from already created CG assets. But as far as I remember, these assets was scanned by these guys, and that's not really hand painted or manually created asset. As far as I remember, this is that was scanned asset, and scanned asset is really helpful. You definitely should use it in your work for sure. And of course, you shouldn't forget about the assets that exist in real world. For instance, here I wanted to gather some kind of clean aluminum assets with interesting stuff going on here, like with some spots, scratches, stains, dirt, whatever. So that's really helpful for us to gather it. And I will show you a trick how we should see and observe the reference itself. So I have a couple of them for just kind of bare metal. I have a couple of them with some oily stuff. Probably this one is painted. This one is also kind of painted with bare metal, but it's just an additional references for me. Here we have good references with painted options, with the dirt options. The same here. Nice reference for the layer for the dust, or I don't know. We can simulate it so we can use that layer in the future. That's really good references, and a couple of the stuff with painted and bare metal together, even with some rust here. Here we can see two paint layers. So it was red, then it became greenish or something like that. So also we have the references with damage. So how we can damage our paint and how we can reveal the metal underneath. So kind of this, and of course, this one of my favorite, because here we have nice soft shape that came from paint. Here we have some layer of additional layer that should protect the metal, and of course we have metal layer, but and another couple of the stuff with rust. So overall, for me, it was more than enough. But when you're trying to level up your skill, you should use more than I don't know, 50 reference images, and of course it might be in really good quality. So please use them, and also use one of great work from the ArtStation, and don't hesitate to go to the for instance, Quicksell Bridge. Try to find some, I don't know, metal stuff, surfaces, for instance. I'm not really sure. Do we have here any jerry can? Yeah, so you can just download, review the model, and can we review the model here? Oh, only just preview by the JPEG, and you can inspect it. So nice oily stuff going on here, nice oily dirt here, some, let's say, baked dust patterns here, so we can examine it. That's really helpful to use megascans to double check what we should bring to our asset, and what from where we can start. So the one of the exercise that I'm giving to my students is, I name it like Sherlock Holmes, because you need to tell me the story, how we achieve that state of the asset. So what you are doing, and what would be good for you, especially if you are junior, even if you're middle, is just to describe what's going on here. So for instance, I can take this guy as a reference for rust. This, no, let's take this for the metal. So we will have metal, we will have paint, probably rust. Also, I wanna took this and this, and what else? What else? What else? I don't remember where I noticed, but oh yeah, I believe these four will be enough for me. But you can use more than four. But anyway, what we are doing the list, and we need to start with the metal. So metal, what we are seeing here, let's just bring it here a bit, zoom in, and here we see the base color, of course, base color gray. That's quite obvious stuff. But what else can we spot here? We are seeing the big violetish spot here, and we should just type it. Big violet spot, and we can just add its really, I'm sorry, soft plus smooth gradient, something like that. Okay, what else we can see here? We can see some different spots, and that spot currently is not really dark. We can use Photoshop to just color pick the color itself, but I'm more than sure that these some spots with blue, probably dark dark color. They have a round strong shape. So as we can see here, yeah, probably of course of the quality we can't say for sure, but let's pretend that here we have really strong edge of this spot, and we can use it. Okay, what else we can see? Okay, we have some rust layer, but we will skip it for now because we're just developing only the metallic texture. What we can inspect also. Oh, these. So here we are seeing some damages on the metal. So this is some dots, and of course we can ask ourselves how these dots eventually became here. So is it physical damage, or is it, I don't know, just rust, and basically this guy was cleaned by sand. I'm not really remember the exact name of the gun, sand or something like that. So you know, the gun that just how to say shooting the sand particles, and you will receive the bare metal, and it will clean it from the rust. I'm sorry, I don't remember the exact name of the tool, but it might be helpful for us. So we can also note here that, okay, some dots with height, and inside some black colors. So I'm sorry. For instance, we can say it for sure from this view, but probably we can change from the black colors to the grayish color to the darkened colors. So when you are texturing, just don't use pitch black colors. It's not working. You should use some tint coloration for that. So definitely you should use some colorations for that. Okay, what else we can spot? Some, probably it's some paint. Yeah, we can add it if we want. So paint paint drops, reddish color, strong masking, or you can just describe it in the way how you want. Okay, what else we can spot here? Some areas that definitely have little dirt layer on top of it. So we can describe it as dirt layer, subtle. I'm not really sure about subtle opacity. Let's names low opacity. We can suggest high frequency noise pattern, and that might also help us because we can, I believe, not Control D. No, I'm sorry. How enable draw mode? I'm always Control Shift D. Okay. So we can spot the big stain here, some big stains here. So it might give us understanding that, to simulate this layer, we should use the noise with the high frequency detail. So for instance, it might be, give me a second, I will show you. Some kind of noise, what I mean. Yeah, let's take this guy, for instance, and base color. So the noise, as you can see here, we have a really high frequency noise. So that means that noise have big black spots and big white spots. So it's really huge, and we can use this map to simulate it. So what I mean when I'm saying the high frequency noise. And what else? Probably we can skip that part because we don't want to add any decal layer. If we want, we will add them afterwards. But again, we can describe this this spot, probably some big soft stains, some stains. And what else here in the cavity? It's in the cavity or in the AO area, we can spot some weird kinda rusty color or something like that, and we can say, hey, AO with rusty layer, not rusty layer, I'm sorry, rusty coloration, low coloration, probably low frequency, freak noise for that. So eventually it would be good for you if you can describe simple material or something like that, or if you not really happy, you can bring this guy here and try to find some interesting stuff. For instance, here I'm seeing some lines, yeah, and probably, I'm sorry. Probably I also want to add it like lines through whole asset roughness channel. So that might be a good layer for us. What else can we spot here? I'm not really seeing any other interesting details. Maybe we can also work with these dark spots, but again, you can just grab a lot of layers that I bring here. So when I was the 3D artist, I don't really know from where I want to start, how I can build my layer. And that exercise that we did with you is basically our layers. And now we just simply need to organize them in hierarchy, because why it's named Sherlock Holmes, because we need to tell the story when each layer appeared or just was created, because in theory we know when this jerry can was made on the plant. Yeah, it was really clean aluminum metal without any damage, without anything. But after some years, we received some damages, some paint drops, maybe oily leaks, whatever. We should tell the story that hiding behind all these layers. And the next stuff is just to simply reorganize them. In theory, in PureRef, you can just copy paste each of the layers and just reorganize them in the way how you wanted to implement it. And this is one of the key exercise that will help you to break down every material. And if you don't wanna how to describe, you should describe it by your own words. So there are no recommendation how you should describe. You just need to separate each layer of damage, of dirt, of stains, whatever. So that's how I'm working, and that's how I recommend you to work. And let's get back to the metal, and let's go one by one, and I will show you from where we can start. Of course, as I told you, we can start with a pure aluminum. It's just PBR validated material with physically corrected values that we can use. And of course, we should start from there. Then we can add some discoloration. Of course, we should be careful with that, especially if we will take a look here. So you may say that this guy have kind of pinkish tint on it, but please don't forget that metals, they are reflecting and they are receiving basically the colors from the environment. And technically speaking, there are no reddish or pinkish color can exist in the metal. But in our case, we can add it just on the subtle level, just to give a bit differences in the color. You can use the same color like here in aluminum, but I would suggest for you work with the warm and cold colors and just add it with the soft light. So it's just even I'm using some textures to bring more chaos, to bring more variety to that and break up a bit. So I don't want that this color should be kind of solid or completely flat. So I'm always trying to break it. So it's just this texture with the soft light, and if we wanna, we can just adjust it with the levels. And I also want to bring a bit violetish color. Probably we can use some bluish color. It might be a bit closer to the real reference, to the real metal, but it really depends on you and how you will see it eventually. So basically, we don't need to see them really clear. We just need to add them only like just subtle layer with coloration. That's it. And as you can see, here I have overlay 90% and just some additional texture to break a bit, to give some noise. And yeah, so it's really subtle. Here I don't know if you can spot it, but here I have some really tiny spots that kind of bring me some variation, because when you are using color without some noise, it's not really working well. What next? We can use the texture and we can play it. We can play with the roughness. So basically here I'm using two type of the roughness, and of course we should switch to the roughness layer. Again, just really subtle, just really simulate the surface that we have in here. Not here, where is it? Yeah, something similar to this guy. Come on. Okay, whatever. So just to bring some noise and probably just to break it. I'm using the textures from the Megascans to speed up my work because they already exist and you can find it by metallic imperfections. Give me a second. Imperfections. So you have a huge library here. I believe right now it's not Megascans, it's Fab, but I'm still using the bridge for me. For me, it's just convenient to use it. So you can find a lot of really interesting stuff that will help you to bring the texture here. I'm using the simple triple NAR to cover it and just give just subtle noise to break a bit metalness. Okay. Then little imperfections, and to see them really well, I need to just exaggerate them. So now we can see the thing is that, again, this is the empty layer, fill layer on the height with one of the roughness map. Roughness map will also work good for the height. And of course, we need levels to adjust the intensity of it. And I just really want to bring them really, really subtle. But again, about this level of the details, be careful when you are working with it because you also need to consider where and how you will see this asset. If you're working just for your art station and you wanted to show how good you are with the texturing, with the details, you can spend a lot of time to bring them. But if it's regular props and nobody really can see it really close, you may skip a couple of these parts because they are not really necessary and you will save time, and that would be eventually good for you to speed up your process and make more props compared to sit and making really great one for the game where nobody really see those details. But now we're speaking about the portfolio, about how to create really cool assets for us. So let's leave it them on these layers. As you can see, I just add really, really subtle variations to the normal map because I can bake them. So of course I can, but it will be much easier to bring it here in Substance Painter. And metal bumps. So again, as we already spoke with you guys, for instance, I wanted to add these, but I really don't want to add them like this. So I'm not really happy with the result here. I just want to add a couple of them somewhere randomly and uniformly. So that means that for these guys, I'm using the height. All these textures, by the way, you can just type a full name of the texture, TD UVE GYC, and I believe, yeah, and as you can see, we can use this texture and it has black spots, black dots, and we can use that information as the reference for the height map because it will do this work for us. Again, we can adjust the intensity, but I insist that the intensity shouldn't be too high. It should be subtle, just for the visible, just for the visibility for us. Yeah, we haven't them. Okay. If you want, you can use a bit different method. I will show it after, how you can add some colors inside of these bumps if you want. But again, don't forget about the quality of the texture that you are using, because even for 2K, it won't be enough to bring them, and you should be you should keep in the mind that for the 4K texture, yeah, it's a good idea, but just ask yourself where you saw that props using 4K texture even in modern games. That's really something unbelievable for me. So don't forget about that stuff. But again, if you're showing the portfolio, that would be a good idea. Okay, and again, some small little bumps just add more variety to the surface and just, make it more old, yeah, something like that. So here I'm using again the roughness, and it works good for me. So roughness works for the height, roughness works for the base color, and here we can readjust or do some really good stuff. With this layer, I'm trying to bring these real just 1 pixel spots to my jerrycan to simulate this. Where is it? To probably simulate some of this. Not really good quality even for me. So anyway, we do have some real dots like this and this and this and this. Oh my gosh. And we want to bring them by using this texture again. For most of the cases, I'm using the triplanar because it's worked really good, but you may use just regular UV space. It really doesn't matter here. It's only depend of the size, how you want to bring them, and the rest. One of the dark dots, additional pass, because I wasn't happy with the result of them, and I decided to bring another layer with the scratches. And again, we can reuse this texture. We can reuse one of these. So of course, we are not following these layers one by one, because that was just for the reference for you for the example. But the logic behind that is this one. And as a final touch, of course, we at least I don't want to see why I'm just switching here. I don't want to see like this roughness, this highly reflective surface. I want to see them like with the layer of the dust, because on the microsurface level, there are a lot of dust, dirt, stains, whatever that makes the roughness goes up in our case, because if roughness goes up, it starts become more, let's say, opaque, not highlighted, if I may say it like that. Okay, and basically here I'm using the trick. You may use this fill layer, or you can use another one, and there is the mask that I'm trying to. Oh, I'm sorry. It's dark dots. I'm seeing, and I'm kind of, what happened here? Why I'm seeing this? So I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, let's just go back again. Here we can reset roughness by this fill layer. Basically, you can do it here, but for some reason, I decided that these two guys works in conjunction better, and Probably for some, mixing, I just became and leave them as is, and I was happy with the result because I don't want to achieve the really shiny metal here, and basically that's the final one, final layer that we can use here. And again, this is the mask with the triple R placement. It's kind of low frequency noise, but again, you can play with the levels and you can achieve. So to sum up the metallic material, what we can say. When you are working with your references, one of the things that you can do is just do this exercise, the Sherlock Holmes. All these guys, these are your layers, and you can work with them together and implement them on your asset. The one thing that you need to organize and align them in kind of hierarchy or chronology of appearing on the asset. And in theory, how many we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, around 10 layers. That's completely fine. So probably you heard about the rule that base material should contain around 10 or 13 layer, and that's good base for you to start. And here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Basically the 9 layers that we described here, but of course they are a bit different. But anyway, the logic behind that is now you have layers. Now you have the hierarchy, and now you can organize them and create them one by one and working only with the base color and roughness, and that's what you need to do. On the current stage, we don't need to modify metalness. We just modifying basically base color, roughness, and sometimes playing with the height map. So, and that's how we can achieve that simple material. And of course, after that, you can just convert it to not smart mask, where it was. I believe it should be here. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. It should be not on the layer. It should be on folder. Create smart material, and afterwards you can use it whenever you want on the other assets and etc. So at the very same beginning, you notice that I have a couple of the Rust layers, and I mark them. You can delete them if you don't need them. So that's how you can create your own smart materials that will speed up your process, and that will help you in the future. So that's the case behind it. Okay, and now let's speak about paint. And let me just disable the paint mask because it will distract us for some time, and after that we will speak about the blend between them. So when you are working with this type of assets that contain at least 2 materials, I recommend you create the separate material for the metallic and separate material for the paint, and keep them separately. And when you will have them such as 2 different folders, you can blend them using or additional layers or mask. So let's just jump into the paint material and break down it a bit, and we will see what we can achieve. So I will start with this paint layer. I decided to separate the color and the roughness and metallic for me to take a full control. So for instance, here I'm having just normal metallic and roughness material. And I'm using one of the normal map, or one of the imperfection that will help me to give some noise underneath. And if I wanna, I can play with the roughness, and of course the metal is set to 0 for me because this is paint. It cannot be metallic. After that, I'm adding some roughness variation, but they are really subtle to notice them here. And we can just skip that layer because it's not really interesting. Yeah, it's really subtle because just 20% of opacity and darken mode. So probably we won't see anything interesting. But again, don't forget that some of these layers may appear or may be created in the future when you will work and let's say, hey, I wanted to change some of the materials, some of the parameters, and let's put this layer here and play with some values. So that's the normal stuff. What I'm doing here, first of all, I'm working with the color because I want to bring some coloration and some variation. As you can see, they are really subtle. I'm not really sure if you are guys seeing them, but that's not completely white layer. It's the layer with the variation, and on top of it, I'm just simply multiplying the fill layer with clean value, and it will give me nice details and nice. Let's just look at the base color. So it will give me nice base color with the variations. On top of it, I'm adding some additional stuff with these guys. And again, before doing that, we can go back here, do this exercise, achieve all the list of the layers, and repeat stuff here. So basically, that's the same, but we are using a bit different approach by using only one layer. Of course, not all of them I'm happy because they are too bright, and I don't want to leave them here. So I just create a layer and manually go through entire asset and clean them. And in addition to that, I also want to bring a bit more details, a bit more low frequency noise to add some structure, to add some noise into base color. The thing behind that is simple. Noise can give you nice variation, nice base to start work with, because when you are using just simply solid uniform color, it's not really working. And low frequency noise is your best friend here to bring all those details and achieve nice result. And I believe here I'm using Anchor. Probably somewhere I will use it at the future, but that's the base that we have here. What else we can inspect and add here? Let's just pretend that we go through all of these assets and decide to add where they were. Not here. Some, yeah, probably there, or maybe, okay, whatever. So let's pretend that we want to add some baked details. So for instance, when someone repaint or paint the jerry can, they did it not really good, and they left some these bumps, and of course kind of downscaled the quality of the paint. Overall, so for doing this, we can create the simple layer, assign one of the map that contain these black or white dots, whatever. And here, using the levels, we can achieve the height, how strong we want to add them, or not really strong, and just simulate this behavior on the painted materials. One interesting stuff that I also tried to use here is just simulating of the flaked paint, but flaked paint, I believe this layer would be good to discuss after we will paint some masking and reveal the metal underneath, because this flaked paint more related to the areas where we have some damage, where we have some rust, and the paint itself becomes like a flakes. So we can skip it for now. This is an additional layer. Let me just disable this. So if you feel that you are not happy with bumps, you can also add some another additional interesting stuff to these bumps, like here, and that also might increase your readability and high quality details overall. And final stuff, of course, is masking. Masking is really important stuff, and I want to disappoint you guys, but to create this mask, you shouldn't use any generators, but here I'm using, but only as a base for me. And please forget about the thing that if you're using some generator, some smart mask, that they will bring you a lot of interesting details and a lot of really cool stuff. Yeah, some of them might be, but if you are junior or even if you are middle, I insist that you should do your work by hand, manually, and only by using stencils, some brushes additional, you will receive the cool result, such this one, because all of these was done by the hand, was done by one of the brushes that I'm basically using here. Let me, oh, come on, after saving. Let me demonstrate it really quick. Let's just wait. Okay. So for instance, I'm having these guys, so I bought it on ArtStation, one of these not mask, I'm sorry, alpha, and I'm using this alpha for the brushes. And you might use it to simulate your damages and probably cover some stuff. And as you can see, that's work really nice, really good. And this is only one brush that you can use and that can help you to work with. Of course, you may also use one of the stencils. Give me a second. I will bring one of it. For instance, this one. You can use scale. Of course, it's all also depend on the image quality that you are using here. And let's just select a soft brush, probably maybe even hard. Okay, I believe we need to wait a bit. No? Oh, yeah. And for using these stencils, you will achieve this result. They are really handy because all these stencils are based on the images that you can just simply download from the internet, convert them to the black and white. You should just keep the areas with completely black and completely white, and you can use the stencil as the really nice and good tool that might help you to bring realism of the details to your canister or jerrycan or asset or whatever. So that's how we can use it. And of course, all these masks was done by using stencils and by basically manual paint. That's it. And let's go to the blend, probably, or maybe no. Oh, we can cover a couple of additional layers here, but basically, these layers might be work as a final touch. We can cover them a bit after. So let's just speak. But I believe. Give me a second. No, I need to show you the proper blend. At least I need to enable these two layers. Yeah, this is just simple dots. It's variation. That's additional details. Basically, they are really simple. Let's just enable them and let's speak about the blend. So to create blend, of course, between paint and metal, we should create the folder. It might be an additional metal layer, or it might be rust. In our case, it might be rust layer, and we should speak about how to blend properly, because if we want to just blend them as they are, of course we won't be happy because we don't have the layers that basically, where is it, that blending. So probably you know that when you want to paint metal, it would be good if you will paint it with the additional defense layer, let's call it like that. And only on top of this layer, you will paint your color that you want in real life, because it helps you to preserve the metal from the rust and the other things. And as you can see here, we have the quite blurry stuff, of course. Type of the blends that we are using here might be different from the asset to asset and might be vary, because if we wanna achieve that, we should think about this line that we are having here, and we definitely need to understand what we are doing. So let's just go back to the paint layer. and speak about paint border height. So as you can see here, I wanna bring some details and some elevation to the edges of my paint, and basically just enable this. So here is the mask, and we are using anchor point here, just to show you. So basically this, we're using this anchor point, then we are blurring a bit, and then we're using the same anchor point, and we are doing inversive subtraction, and it will give us this uniform layer that we can use as a height, and it might help us to just boost up a bit elevation. We can also add the blur slope with this setup to add some variation, and of course we can subtract from some of the areas black and white dots that help us give and break uniformity of the height variation. So that's basically how we are achieving them. When we create this guy, we can create the layer that will help us to blend. So anyway, if you are wanted to achieve this really simple blend, I insist that anyway on this border you should have some layer with probably 2 or 3 pixels of additional layer that will help you to mix metallic and roughness value between metal layer and paint layer, and it will be like, you know, like a transition line that will help you to do it. And what we are basically doing here, so you can see the approach the same: anchor point, blur, levels, and subtract, and we are achieving this borderline. And now the trick is that we set the metallic value to the 0.5, 0.6, 0.4, and it create the transition between two different surfaces, and it will help you to achieve quite good result, and especially if we are playing with the roughness, of course. So as you can see, it just start to blur it, but we right now we can boost and hide it a bit more. Let me just do another stuff. I also want to play with it a bit. Anchor point, paint mask, or maybe just to save time, I will just do this. And let's just play a bit with the color. Let's set bluish color. Let's just increase it a bit more, and play a bit with the metallic and with the roughness. So just to avoid these annoying white line here. So again, you always can play with the mask. You have the ability to increase the fall-off, to increase overall transition, and it might help you. Of course, you don't need to overblown it like that. The thing is, it should be really subtle, really just supportive layer and that's how you can get rid of it. So you can use the trick and you can use that type of blend to simply blend between paint and bare metal. But this is when you have kind of this situation. In our situation, we will do a bit different stuff, because here I'm using just simple Rust layer, and basically I'm using the Megascans textures again, just to speed up the process itself. And if you wanted to create something that you are creating something new completely, you can look at the Rust and at the, I don't know, metal, at the paint as simple combination of different noises. So all of these details, basically, if we will take a closer look, basically that's the noise. And you can create 3 layers with, for instance, this darken color, this mid color, and this kind of almost orange color. And you can blend them using just 3 masks with the low frequency noise, and you will achieve almost the same result. Of course, you can use more than 3 layers, you can use 6, 9, and it can give you basically the same result. But please be careful, because when you are using a lot of the layers, don't forget that it will affect your memory, and it can just be not really good for you eventually, because the project itself will be really heavy. And sometimes just using simple textures is performance wise compared to create something from the scratch by using simple noises. So keep that things also in mind. And basically this is just combination of different Rust variation. And as I saying, even here I'm using some of the layers with the almost low frequency noise, and that's how you can achieve this really cool Rust material underneath. So since we have the paint and metal, we can also play with the mask here. It's just believe, yeah, we can bring more details by using this parameter in my case. So it can help us bring the real metal, because we want to show that whole metal was rusted. There is some islands with the bare metal, but it's kind of going to be rusty in some years. So that's how you can play with it. But again, this is an artistic choice, and it really depends on what you want to show. So let's set it like that. So we will see some areas with almost bare metal, but they are already covered by the rust. And here with this border, with this exact layer, when you are achieving this, you may also want to just highlight and add some let's say height to the to your existing height. So as far as you remember at the beginning, I told you that base color is the third layer that supporting the height. So we have the height, and we can support it by base color, and basically that's what we are doing. Of course, these layers, this layer also supporting the metal or also supporting the roughness, but at the same time, it's also supporting the base color as well. So don't forget about that things when you are working with your assets. And I believe we are almost going to the finals. I I believe we just can discuss a couple of the other tricks that I'm using here, and I believe we can wrap up. So rust over. This is one of the final touches that will help bring us a bit more interesting stuff here. And just believe, yeah, I'm using this test. Okay, so whatever. The trick for these paints is simple. Basically, we don't have any color information here. We're just controlling the roughness and metallic. And the thing is that we just simply using the paint and paint our leakage. And one of the important stuff here that we need black and white mask with the grayscale values, because these grayscale values will give us interesting result after when we will use coloration. So we're creating the anchor point here to record that information. Oh yeah, and I believe I'm subtracting the mask because I don't wanna rust placed here, because we already have some. And when we're switched to the layer itself, here I'm using my anchor point from the mask. And what I'm doing is I remapping the values of the black and white mask and using these. So I believe you are seeing what I'm doing. So for instance, we have the line with 0 and 1. So it's black and that's white. And basically, we are just mapping the values that will be here. This guy will be here. This guy will be here, and this guy will be here. So as you can see, per each color, we can choose the position of the gradient, and 0 is black, and closer to the 1, it will be white. So that's how we can remap our values. And as you can see, the most white values now and they remapped, and they are working at this in this way. And that also will give you nice coloration, because when you're working with only one solid color, it's not really cool. And these variations bring more details, bring more realistic look. Here, this layer basically the copy and doing basically the same. What else? This layer is just one of the final touch. I believe it's just some scratches. So if you may see, we have some horizontal lines, and they are really subtle here. And I also just wanted to add them and to bring more details. And there is some additional rusty spots. So the areas where probably in some years the rust will eat the paint and will the metal, and eventually it will be rusted. And one of the final layers. Again, it's just paint stain that we can bring here. So it's kind of detail, and here we have interesting option because we can tell a story when that stain appeared. So it for now we definitely know that it was appeared before this scratch. Oh, I can paint. This scratch damaged it, and that's another option for you to just reveal or hide some of the information. But I prefer that stain be as it is right now. Then we can just play with the A or dirt. This is the mask that basically using the light combination and AO combination. So it's just some uniform color, but again you can play with the noise, and it will help you add some stuff. But if you just simply want to darken some stuff, solid color in that case, good option. And of course, a lot of the dirt layers basically that we bring from these, as we discussed, some dirt layer, low opacity, high frequency, noise pattern, spots, blue, dark, or whatever. So these guys is combination of manual and procedural work. So I love to use light because it helped me to separate some parts where I want to apply the dirt. And as you can see here, I'm applying kinda dust layer. Then I'm also playing a bit with the light, and I'm deciding to just reveal only this let's say intensity that I want. Basically it looks like that. So it's really subtle. We don't want it to highlight it really hard, and we can just up them a bit with the levels. And basically final touch, it's again manual work with the stencils. As you can see probably here, I'm using some of the cool stencils with the leakage, and probably even here. So basically I believe with the mask you will see it better, in the better way. So that's how manual work and procedural work can give you a really interesting detail. But yeah, it takes a lot of time. But anyway, that's how you should work if you want to achieve good results. So adding some leaking stuff, it's really easy, just base color and roughness. Additional leakage here, and I believe that layer that give me that red spots on the PBR validator. And one of the stuff that I bring from here, as you can see, this part of the jerrycan is just really oily, really dark, almost pitch black. So we are trying to simulate it and add this stuff. Probably we can also play with the colors. And as you can see, I'm not using really dark colors. I'm trying to use this zone, or even this, or even this. So it really depends what you need to do. So don't use the completely black, or just add some colors in it, and it will help you eventually to achieve more good results. So probably like that, I believe we can we can put it. And yeah, I believe that's it. That's how basically I'm working with my assets. That's the key features, and we can sum up it again. Well, it's different, but anyway, one of the key feature is just Sherlock Holmes exercise. You need to break down each layer. You need to write them down per each material. You if you can describe them, how you will add them, what you can see here, which gradient, strong, soft, etc. That will really help you to understand which layer I should create and how I should implement it. And references is our key feature here as well, because they are giving us the information for our layers. And yeah, I believe basically that's it. Basically, we can wrap up, and if you have a time, we can answer to some questions.
Yes, thank you so much, Igor, for the presentation. I really like your approach to work with references, and that's really interesting how work texturing in realism. I didn't work with such pipeline, so for me it was really interesting. Yes, now you can prepare a question in chat, and I have a question for you. Um, for example, I didn't work with such texture. Uh, what should focus artists at first when learning such texture in pipeline?
Focusing again, main focus should be on references because this is the key. Then Sherlock Holmes exercise, it will give you information. And one of additional rule that I can bring here is always ask yourself for question. Basically, it goes from philosophy, but it also applied here. For instance, these questions basically: who am I? Where am I? In which relationship I'm in? I'm with the environment, and why I'm doing that. For the asset, it can be it can be how to say, it can be transformed in the way what the asset I'm doing, which condition affecting on it, because this jerrycan can be in cold, wet garage, or it can be in dry, sandy, I don't know, desert, and the damage of the asset will be completely different, because young artists or junior artists, they are all always want to bring a lot of the details, a lot of the damage, and even if they have a lot of references, they want to bring each detail from each references, and you will receive the mix of unwanted and unnecessary stuff. For instance, some of them can decide and add some, I don't know, moss or greenish color here. But if this props in the dry desert condition where you saw the moss, yeah, so it's it's not related to the region. So you should always ask yourself what the asset, what the condition, and how, for what I'm doing it. For what I'm doing it, I mean the game. So how closer we can see the asset, who will see this asset, because that might be the hero props. I don't know, you're playing Tomb Raider and you're finding this jerry can and you need to I don't know, you need to use it to fill the, I don't know, airplane or car, whatever. And these exact props will be like here, yeah. So on this distance, really close to the camera, and that means that yes, probably we will need to bring a lot of the details here. So these questions, uh, they will help you to be in a focus and to not bring unnecessary details to your asset.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And what are the most common mistake beginners make when creating materials?
One of the mistakes is laziness, because nobody want to paint manually some really cool stuff. And even if you have a lot of stencils, they are kind of skipping, and I will take some generator, some smart mask, and it will help me, especially when you are junior. So if you are strong middle or you're senior, you are more than allowed to use that because you know what you are doing. At the junior level, I believe too too many times I'm seeing that artists using smart generators, smart masks, and they are not really understanding that this is not the good result. The good result you will achieve only when you will inspect the reference. Let me show it one more time. So for instance, let's take this one. So you're seeing here, and hey, okay, I can do this line, this type of damage, these lines, and these lines, and that will be your key, because yeah, of course you can spend I don't know, maybe 10 minutes for them, but it will give you more realism than you will just use some generator with some procedural grunge mask. Yeah, some of them can really give you good result, but I believe only when you are know how to apply them, how to use them. And I insist that if you're junior, you should focus on the manual work and try to avoid the generators. You should use generators and smart mask only as a base, and the rest you will and you should achieve by using hands, stencils, and different brushes.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Hmm. Which type of detail better art on high poly or which one on the texture?
It's really depend on what and how you want to do it, and it may be vary from the project to project, because I'm more I'm how to say, I suggest that if you can model high poly model and keep only the mm, major damage, such as these bumps and these bumps. So I believe you should just be happy with that, and probably definitely if you want to add this seam, yeah, weld seam, that would be more than enough for you. So only kind of high level damage. So no no low frequency, no too detail damage on your asset, because yeah, of course you can bake them, you can use it eventually, you already have the good curvature map that will help you bring the details. In theory it might help, but I prefer the control over the like baked model, because when I'm using Substance Painter, it's easier for me create uh, such these bumps uh, manually, and I have the full control of the scale of the position, whatever. It just really easy to control here. So some minor and these really tiny details, you should bring them here in Substance Painter, but there is no rule that you are not allowed to bring all these details on the high poly. Uh, if you feel that you will be happy with the result on the high poly, and I don't know, you will add some noise on the high poly, bake them, and achieve a good normal map and good curvature, okay, you can do it, but in theory, if for instance our director or your lead will came to you and say, hey, let's just remove these bumps, I don't like it here, and you are this situation, they are quite often in game dev, and it would be easier for you to remove it here in Substance Painter by just simply painting mask instead of removing them on the high poly, rebaking the full set of the maps, and re-export them here in Substance Painter. It will be much longer wait than you will just simply remove it here.
Okay, thank you for the answers. I think that's all. So thank you, Igor, for the presentation and sharing your experience and workflow with us. And then thanks everyone who stayed with us until the end. I'd like just remind that with Quad School is open to collaboration. If you'd like to become a course author or just a speaker, you can write us via email or in Discord. So all link in the description. Also, join our Discord community and follow us. Our Instagram and stay tuned for announcements for upcoming streams. Also, be sure to check out Igor's social media link in the description. So, see you next stream. Bye, everyone.
Yeah, bye bye, guys.